The moment she walked in, the whole room clocked her, not because she was famous, not because she had security, just because she looked like a person who had never once been told no, and actually had to accept it. Madison Kingsley, mid-20s, perfectly styled hair, glossy makeup, and an outfit that didn't belong in a small claims courtroom, sat down like she was arriving at a private table at a restaurant. Her bag landed on the desk with a soft thud, the kind of bag people protect from rain like it's a child. Across from her sat Emma Rodriguez with a simple folder clutched to her chest. No glam, no performance. Just that tight, exhausted look people get when they've rehearsed a story 100 times because nobody listened to the first 99. The case on paper looked small. $200. That's it. A security deposit dispute after a 2-month sublet. But if you've ever lost a security deposit when you're barely making rent, you already know. $3,200 isn't small. It's groceries, it's tuition. It's the thing that decides whether your life stays stable or starts sliding. Judge Judy looked down at the file and then up at Madison. Miss Kingsley, you sublet Miss Rodriguez's apartment for 2 months, correct? Madison didn't even look nervous. She leaned back and said, yes, Miss Rodriguez says when she returned, the apartment was damaged. She lost her deposit. She's suing you for that amount. Do you deny causing the damage? Madison shrugged, an actual shrug in court, and said that place was already rough. Judge Judy paused like she was choosing whether to treat that as stupidity or disrespect. Answer the question. Did you cause the damage? Madison smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. It was the kind of smile people do when they're used to winning arguments, by acting like the other person is embarrassing for even trying. I didn't do anything unusual. I paid rent. I stayed there. Stuff happens. Emma's mouth opened slightly, like she was trying to stop herself from speaking too early. Judge Judy turned toward Emma. Tell me what happened. Emma took a breath. I'm in nursing school. I work at a hospital and I pick up shifts when I can. My mom needed surgery. Insurance didn't cover everything. I couldn't lose my apartment, so I tried to sublet for 2 months. Madison stared forward like she was listening to an ad. Emma continued, voice steady but tight. She answered my listing. She paid the first month in cash. She seemed normal. She promised she'd take care of it. Judge Judy asked, and then? Emma opened her folder and pulled out a photo. This was my apartment the day I left. A neat studio, clean walls, normal furniture. Nothing fancy but cared for. Then she pulled out the next one. It looked like someone had hosted a war, a couch with long cuts across the fabric. Carpet stained dark. A television with a spiderweb crack. A bedroom wall tagged with marker and paint. Obscene words and some things blurred in the show's printouts. Emma's eyes flicked to Madison for half a second. My landlord kept my entire deposit, and he billed me for more, but I'm only asking for the deposit because I know what I can prove. Judge Judy's eyebrows lifted at that. You're asking for what you can prove, she repeated. Smart. Emma's hands shook slightly as she laid out another page. These are the messages. Text screenshots. Emma asking for help, asking for a walkthrough, asking why neighbors were calling her about noise, and Madison responding with laughing emojis. Short, cold replies. Nothing that sounded like someone who felt guilty. Madison finally spoke louder. Your Honor, this is so dramatic. She's trying to blame me because she needs money. Judge Judy didn't look at Madison yet. She looked at the photos again. These damages are not wear and tear. She tapped the page. This couch didn't slice itself. Madison made a sound, half laugh, half scoff, and that sound is what changed the room. Judge Judy looked up. Do you think this is funny? Madison's face hardened. I think it's ridiculous that I'm even here over a deposit. People have real problems. Emma's jaw tightened. She didn't interrupt, but you could see it hit her. My problem isn't real to her, Judge Judy asked. Miss Kingsley, what do you do for work? Madison blinked like she didn't understand the question. I don't need to work. Judge Judy leaned back slightly. You don't need to work. Why? Madison said it plainly, like she was stating the weather. My dad takes care of me. Judge Judy nodded once. Your father is Richard Kingsley. Madison's posture changed immediately, like she'd finally arrived at the part where she thought the judge would get nervous. Yes, there's a specific kind of confidence people get when they think a last name is armor. Judge Judy looked down at the file. And you're here today with an attorney. My family attorney, Madison added. Judge Judy looked directly at her. Your family attorney for a $3,200 deposit case, Madison said. We take false accusations seriously, Emma whispered, barely audible. It's not false. Madison turned her head slightly toward Emma with a quick, sharp look. Stop. You're not a victim, Judge Judy snapped. You will not speak to her like that in my courtroom. Madison rolled her eyes. It was subtle, but it was real. Judge Judy held her gaze. Did you just roll your eyes at me? Madison looked back. No, Judge Judy didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. I saw it. And now the audience was fully locked in, because everyone recognizes this moment. The point where someone finally meets the one person they can't intimidate. Judge Judy said, let's talk about evidence. Miss Rodriguez has photos before and after. She has text messages. She has a landlord statement showing deposit withheld. What do you have? Madison's attorney started to speak, but Madison cut in first. I have common sense. She sublet me a cheap apartment. Stuff breaks in cheap apartments. Judge Judy looked disgusted. A cheap apartment? In what world is $1,800 a month? Cheap, Madison replied, in Manhattan. Judge Judy's eyes narrowed. This is not a lifestyle podcast. Answer the questions. Madison crossed her arms. Okay, here's my answer. I'm not paying because she can't prove I did it. Judge Judy didn't respond immediately. She looked at the monitor and then back at the file, as if confirming something. Then she said calmly, Miss Kingsley, are you active on social media? Madison perked up. Yes. How active? Madison's tone shifted. This part she liked. I have a decent following. Judge Judy asked, do you post stories? Obviously. Judge Judy nodded again, slow. Okay. That okay landed like a door closing. Emma looked confused, like she didn't know why social media mattered. Madison smirked like she'd won a point. Judge Judy opened a folder that wasn't part of Emma's stack. Because, Judge Judy said, we requested something before you came in today. Madison's smirk wavered. Judge Judy continued, and I want you to listen carefully. There's a difference between what people say happened and what people record themselves doing. Madison's attorney shifted in his seat. Judge Judy glanced toward him. Don't jump up. Sit. Then she looked back at Madison. Did you, at any point, post videos from inside Miss Rodriguez's apartment? Madison hesitated, but that doesn't. Judge Judy cut in. Yes or no? Madison said quieter. Yes. Judge Judy tapped the folder. Good, she said, because now we're not guessing anymore. Madison leaned forward, suddenly alert. Those were private. Judge Judy's voice hardened. If you posted them publicly, they were not private. Silence. Emma's eyes widened. She looked at Judge Judy, then at Madison, like she was watching a lock finally click open. Judge Judy turned one page, then another. And she said the line that made Madison's face go pale. Let's watch what you said, in your own words. The screen turned on. Madison stared at it like she was trying to will it off with her mind. The clip was short, 10 seconds, maybe. And that's what made it so brutal. Not a long montage, not a dramatic edit, just raw, careless footage. It showed Madison in a small studio apartment, laughing with someone off camera. The phone camera swung across the room. You could see the couch, the TV, the carpet, and then Madison's voice, clear as day. Look at this place. It's literally tiny. Whatever. We'll have fun. The next clip was worse. A crowded room, people shouting. Music so loud the mic distorted. A champagne bottle popped, then a flash of the couch. Someone dragging something sharp across it while people laughed. Judge Judy paused the video. Madison opened her mouth. Your Honor, you can't. Judge Judy held up one finger without looking away from the screen. Be quiet. Then she turned to Emma. That's your couch? Emma nodded, eyes glossy. Yes, I saved for it. Judge Judy hit play again. Another clip. Madison, right into the camera, smirking. If she wanted a perfect apartment, she shouldn't have rented it out. Judge Judy paused again and looked straight at Madison. You understand what this is? Madison tried to recover. It's a joke. Judge Judy replied. A joke is a punchline. This is evidence. Madison's attorney stood up. Your Honor, we object. Judge Judy's head snapped toward him. Sit down. You're not in real court. Counselor. And even if you were, your client made the recording and posted it. It's coming in. The audience made that low sound people make when they know someone's about to lose, and they're excited they get to watch. Judge Judy turned another page in her folder. Now, she said, I'm going to ask you a very simple question, Miss Kingsley. When Miss Rodriguez contacted you about the damage, did you respond? Madison looked offended. I don't owe her my time. Judge Judy leaned forward. You owed her her apartment back in the condition you received it. Madison snapped. I paid rent. Judge Judy raised her voice slightly. Paying rent is not a license to destroy someone's property. Madison threw her hands up, like the concept was ridiculous. You're acting like I did it on purpose. Judge Judy stared at her for a second and then flipped to another item. On purpose, Judge Judy repeated. She held up a screenshot, printed and highlighted. This is a message from your phone. Don't worry, I'm not paying. She can't do anything. My dad's lawyer will handle it. Madison's mouth opened then shut. Judge Judy continued. And here's another. Tell her to stop calling. It's annoying. Madison looked toward her attorney, pleading without saying it. Judge Judy wasn't finished. And here's the part you're going to regret, she said, voice low. You didn't just ignore her, you mocked her. Madison whispered, that's not. Judge Judy cut in. There is no not, you did it. Then Judge Judy looked at Emma. Miss Rodriguez, when you came back, how long did it take you to clean? Emma swallowed. 2 days, and it still smelled. My landlord, he was furious. Judge Judy nodded once, like she already knew. And the deposit was $3,600? Emma corrected softly, $3,600 total. But the portion I'm suing for is $3,200 because, Judge Judy interrupted gently, because you're being conservative. I understand. Then she turned to Madison. Miss Kingsley, you're 24 years old. You have an attorney. You have resources. You could have offered to pay for the damages you caused. You could have apologized. You could have handled this like an adult. Madison sat up straighter, defensive again. Why is everyone acting like I'm some criminal? This is a TV show. Judge Judy's eyes hardened. This is a courtroom show, and you came here thinking it was a stage for you. Madison laughed. One quick laugh, and then she said it. Not as dramatic as people expected. Not shouted. Almost casual, like she'd said it before in other places where nobody corrected her. You're just a public servant. People like you work for people like me. The room went dead. Even her attorney looked down. Judge Judy stared at Madison for a long beat. Then she spoke, slow and controlled. I work for the law. I don't work for you. And your father's money doesn't change what you did. Madison tried to walk it back immediately. That's not what I meant. Judge Judy lifted her hand. Stop talking. Then she looked at the evidence again. Photos, messages, the video, the landlord's statement. And Judge Judy did what she always does when she's done entertaining nonsense. She went straight to the point. Judgment for the plaintiff, she said. Emma's shoulders dropped like she'd been holding her breath for months. Judge Judy continued. 3 200s. Madison exhaled sharply, like she was annoyed it wasn't 0. Then Judge Judy added, and you're going to hear me clearly. You don't get to hide behind your father in here. You embarrassed yourself today. But more importantly, you harmed someone who worked for what she has. Madison muttered, whatever. Judge Judy snapped. Not whatever. You can leave. Emma stood there for a second, unsure if it was real. Judge Judy looked at her and softened, just slightly. Miss Rodriguez, she said, take your judgment, and next time you sublet, do a background check. People can smile and still be dangerous. Emma nodded, tears finally spilling. Thank you. Outside the courtroom, the clip didn't need editing to go viral. It was already a perfect package. Arrogance, proof, and consequences. Short, shareable, infuriating. And the sentence that lit the internet on fire was the same one Madison thought would protect her. People like you work for people like me. Because for once, everyone got to see what happens when someone says that out loud. In front of the one person who doesn't care who your father is.